Welcome to Perpetual Backlog Podcast, the gaming podcast that tries to get at you weekly about doing your backlog, in which I actually completed a game this week. So, I'm your host, Aqua, and joining me like usual is the guy that has no time to play video games whatsoever, Dalit.
Yep, I am slowly but surely dying inside.
And Leek, who actually has time to play video games sometimes.
Holy shit. Yes. I do have time. I'm only playing one at the moment, though.
That being?
Oh, do you want me to talk about it? I can talk about it right now, actually.
Yeah.
Can I? Yeah, okay. I'm going through Final Fantasy XIV on Crystal. Try and get ready for the LunaCon on July 30th. I think I mentioned if you want to attend all the in-game events, you'll need all housing areas unlocked. So I'm trying to make my way to Kugane, basically, because that's the last area. It's been nice. It's been nice. Play through ARR, which may be a hot take, I suppose, because lots of people don't feel that way. But it's mainly because it feels a lot quicker. It's more streamlined. They went back to basically clear out all the unnecessary quests and stuff. I think, did they do that in Shadowbringers? I'm not sure when they were making that.
Midway
like
through
that.
Shadowbringers, yeah.
Yeah. Certainly, I can notice the difference. And the point I'm at, I'm in Heaven's Word, where the first big story patch is over. You've defeated Nidhogg and King Thordan. And as an aside to that, actually, the last quest with Thordan, when you defeat him and do that awesome trial, so he looks up to the Warrior of Light and asks, "Who? What are you?" Do you like my old man voice?
Fantastic.
Initially, a scene was supposed to be just a dramatic scene. It was very cinematic type of thing to evoke the dread that Thordan feels at that point. But like a lot of people, because he felt like he was a god king, and then kicked his ass and stuff. But a lot of people actually saw that scene and jumped on it and started theory crafting and speculating to shit.
What
like
if
holy
we are
hell,
primals?
Yeah, it was so many theories, wasn't there? My God! And then now after playing Shadowbringers, that scene came to mind again, and having to see that as my current playthrough, it was interesting going back to that scene because there's now what we know from Shadowbringers. It's just like, maybe they were planning something with that scene, even though they denied it. Yeah. So that was fun. That was fun to see. And I finished at where you go on the moon. Elidibus is just talking to the Warrior of Darkness, Ardbert. I was like, aha, the moon. That was the moon. Yeah, I can't play anymore because currently there's a big maintenance going on.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
People think it's to do with the 5.58 data center. They're testing the systems or something.
This is patch 1.58.
Yeah, but they're not going to actually
not
release it. Yeah, they're not going to actually release the system for people to use until they think September, something like that. Yeah, which is a shame because it would have made made things a lot easier for people wanting to go to LunaCon, because currently they'll have to put a character on Crystal, do the world visit instead. But yeah, that's what I've been doing basically.
Yeah, I played a good bit of 14 this week, actually. Yeah. 5.58 patch notes are out. The biggest question mark I got out of these patch notes were they changed Castrum to where you don't have to stand on the little buttons to open the door anymore, because people were just dumb and weren't standing on the buttons. They would run over the button and then have to run back. So it's like a quality of life, I guess, update, but half of our player base is stupid, update.
I felt that kind of thing in any 24 man where you have to change the color, like AoE thing, like step on this
Yeah.
to turn it to red, and then someone else immediately runs over it. And you're like, no, you fool! Like,
Yeah.
I'm not calling out anyone in the community, but I am remembering that Steps of Faith got nerfed into the goddamn ground because we couldn't just, do mechanics.
We couldn't use the dragon killer. Nobody could do the dragon killer.
no.
uh, yeah. So you told me you started playing Monstrum Nox, Dalit,
I
and you've been
did.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I have had a little bit of time this week for various reasons. So I started Monstrum Nox. It's good. I don't like Adol or Adol. I
Well, I
think
mean,
he's pointless in this game other than being a good playable character, but like literally all the other characters I've run into are way better, including Dogi, who's just there, chilling, minding the bar.
yeah, but
But yeah,
Mhm.
it's Patrick.
that's not
But I
important.
mean, it's Patrick's site.
Did
So what
you
do you
tell me
expect?
about the game? I don't know. What's the
So
premise?
super, super quick, because this is not something I want to dwell on right now.
Yeah.
You play longtime adventurer Adol Christian, I believe is his name.
Yep.
You and your boy Dogi are just coming from being marooned on a bloody island, and
Yep.
you want to sleep on something that isn't the cold hard ground. So you roll
Hmm?
into the prison city, yes, prison city of
Actually,
Balduke.
eight's not right before 9.
Oh God, is it
Seven's
not?
actually right before
All right,
9.
let's start over real quick. You are adventurer, adult Christian. You and your friend have been out adventuring. You
Yeah.
want to sleep somewhere nice, so you've run into the prison city of Balduke. That's not at all off putting, but I swear that's what it's called. You go in there through shenanigans, you end up in jail because they think you're up to shit because you're an adventurer. And it's really weird that all this stuff happens to you in particular. You break out because you're a good person. Wait. And you end up getting turned into this really cool, edgy version of yourself. You run into others who have similar powers. You amass your small group and you fight for truth, justice, and the American way. That's as far as I've made it. I actually don't know
Yeah.
much
Hmm.
past that.
What style of game is it?
It is an action RPG in the vein of, I guess, probably Tales. Is close the closest I can get to it.
Hmm.
It's not.
Uh,
That's not. It's probably not the best example, but it's closer than anything else I've played. It's certainly not like a proper character action game.
it's more. What do you mean it's not a proper character
It is
action game?
not a proper character action game.
Like each
It's
character
not
has a
a proper
different play
character
style.
action game.
The game's
You
literally about
approach the
plot
game the
progression.
same way on every single character, switching characters because that individual character has an attribute: blunt, pierce, and slash.
Oh, either way, um, it's more Final Fantasy Type 0 type gameplay than it is
Mhm.
anything. I wouldn't compare it to Tales.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't make it very far through Type Zero.
It's very dodge and attack heavy game.
I mean, you can dodge, except that if you guard, you get all those sweet crits.
I mean, same with dodging.
I don't think Flash Move grants you that. It grants you something else. I forget what that bonus is. Specifically, Flash Guard grants you like ridiculous crit chance, which is
I know
really nice when you pop your like super move.
Flash Step gives you. I know it slows it down.
Yes, that is something that the two do share, which at that
Um,
point makes everything else ridiculous. Anyways, so I'm playing through that game. I'm currently only playing through it on hard because I don't have that kind of time, and I remember the demo being piss easy. Turns out the game is piss easy.
oh,
So
even hard is piss easy.
yeah,
So
like I would say I regret not playing on a harder difficulty, but I don't have the time to actually get
yeah,
stonewalled right now.
yeah.
So I have met Cat, Hawk, and I am on Doll's chapter now. So
Well, I like
God,
Doll.
Hawk is such a dick.
He is. He's an asshole.
He's unfucking bearable. Even once you learn about his background, he's unfucking bearable. I'm still waiting on Raging Bull. Raging Bull was my favorite person to play in the demo. I was horrifically disappointed when I saw both the demo levels, and did not have the character I used to get through them. So
I used Raging Bull throughout like almost the entirety of my playthrough once I got her.
that's the plan. She felt like super good to play as in the demo. Her and Doll. I mean, I guess at this point I'm so used to Adel, but I'd like to get my hands on those two again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've had time for. That and the occasional Arknights, but that's not worth really mentioning right now.
No. No. Mobile games. Who cares about mobile games?
Yeah, funny thing you should
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What did I do this week? I beat Soccer Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Waifu the waifu.
So I saw.
Which waifu is your waifu?
Anastasia.
Ah.
Or Anastasia, that's how they.
Ah,
they pronounce
yes,
her name.
the Princess Anastasia.
Anastasia. She's great. She's an actress. She betrays the fuck out of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that your kink, is it?
No.
Yeah, Aqua's into getting stabbed in the back.
Yes, humiliate me.
It was your typical anime, like one person in your party betrays you and then you win them back with the power of friendship, and then you beat the boss with the power
Yeah,
of
but you
friendship.
usually don't then go on to marry that person.
Oh.
Yes, you've proven yourself to be untrustworthy and backstabbing. I love you.
It's only because the person promised to reunite her with her family.
Well, you hadn't mentioned that before.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh, is this actually Anastasia?
I guess so. She's an actress. So.
Oh, the Grand Duchess.
Mm. Oh, I see. In it for the money. Gotcha. Wink.
I mean, if you've seen pictures of her, you know what I'm in it for.
Oh.
She's a very attractive lady.
Yeah, you oversell Aqua. He's not in it for the money.
He's in it for the boopa.
She's in it for the plot.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure she has some abs too, but you don't ever really see her.
You don't seem too sure, which tells me that's not what drew you to her.
There was one scene where I think you like got to see her abs or whatever, but like all the costumes that they have like pretty much cover almost everything up. So
there is implied abs, Bible thump.
Implied abs, yeah. Anyway, that was great. I'm surprised I actually hunkered down to play that game.
I'm surprised how fast you got through it.
It's not a very long game. It's only 8 chapters. And each chapter is like maybe an hour or two long if you're really just going through it. I spent a lot of my time trying to play Koi Koi.
The hell is Koi Koi?
It's a Japanese card game using Hanafuda cards.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The triple triad of
pretty much
of Sakura Wars, is it?
Blade Master, let's go.
It's a matching card. It's like it's not a matching card game. It's a card game that has you have your hand and you have cards on the like on the table, and then you have your deck, and cards in your hand can match not match but are like in a category of certain cards. And you can take the cards in your hand, match like pair them up with the certain cards that are in that category, and they go to your side of the table. And then if you get like a certain like not an order of cards but like a certain category of cards, you get points. And it's hard to understand at first, because like I mean it's a Japanese card game. Most Japanese card games are actually very hard to understand. But you can honestly like beat any of them or beat any of the NPCs you can go up against pretty easily, because if you lose, you get the rematch. And if you rematch using like the coins you get from winning, Um, it restarts a match, but like, your opponent is set at the amount of points that they had at the end of the the preceding match. So you can just like slowly whittle them down. But if you run out of coins, then you're kind of fucked. But I only played up against like 3 or 4 NPCs. And there's like 20, I think, that you can play against. Pretty much most of the main characters in the game. But that was really fun. Like I said, I'm surprised I actually went through it. Or like, I'm surprised I liked the game as much as I did, because it was just very enjoyable. And I don't normally like mecha stuff, but it's like the most high rent
for me.
It was like the most high rent visual novel game that I've ever played, because you could play it like it's a video game, not like it's a fucking animated book.
Hey,
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like that's what makes a game a game.
Well, no, I mean, you don't tell that to people that play visual novels over in Japan. 'Cause they will
Visual
be like, these are
novels
fucking
are
games.
not games. They're visual novels. It's right there in the title. They're books.
I'm just saying, man.
They're choose your own adventure books.
They're
just really good
make the
choose your own
rules.
adventure books.
They make the rules, all right?
Yeah.
All right, so that was fun. What else I played? I played 14. Leveled up my leveled up a little bit of my samurai. Finished my white mage relic. I attempted to get in on Asmongold's glamour contest. But
Oh,
you have
really?
to have the quickest hands in the West to fucking get in on that, because holy shit, 24 people, it was less than 24 people. It was like 21, because Zeplo was already in there, Asmongold's already in there. Actually, it's more than 20. It's about 20 people. Because they had 2 people that because like the chat wanted Dominic Toretto and Sea Lion to get in there. Yes, there's there's somebody named Dominic Toretto that's been raiding with Asmongold, and yes, he is cosplayed as Vin Diesel.
So
Dominic
what does
Toretto.
Toretto play?
Gunbreaker.
Ah.
Okay.
I see. I watched Rubber Ninja, also Ross from, I think he was in Game of Grumps, right?
Yeah.
Game of Grumps, yeah. So he plays 14 too, but currently his mission is to eat 200,000 eggs on stream.
In game. Yeah, in game.
In game of 14.
Okay. In the
The
words
whys, we don't know, but he's gonna do a subathon soon. And he set up he set up this voice command thing as well. So he's got voice command for egg, nom, that kind of thing. And when he says it into his mic in game, it just eats an egg. And I watched him set this up, and I was like sitting there going, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, I saw him do that too.
Oh, what am I doing? What's he doing?
I know what Dalit was going to say in the words of Ryan Reynolds, but why?
Nope. In the words of Aaron and I think John at the time. Damn it, Ross.
Damn it, Ross.
It's definitely a damn it Ross moment. God, but yeah, he started wondering, is this a like a Guinness Book record thing I can do? Is that okay? We'll find out if that qualifies, I suppose.
Most digital eggs eaten on a stream.
Yeah. Oh, and you like Maximilian Dude, right? He was contemplating playing again.
Oh, he'll go back in. The call is strong.
The call is strong. His chat is telling him to do it, and he's a people pleaser.
It's true.
So he'll 100%. I know he said he likes the game, but Max has like a lot. Max is a very super busy guy, and so he doesn't like to dedicate his time to an MMO half the time. Especially when he can play fighting games. Yeah. So I tried getting into that, but I wasn't able to. because I'm not quick draw McGraw. I can't like fucking
Mm.
click on a party finder super quick.
What was your
So,
glamour going to be? What was your
uh,
glamour going to be?
I like threw something together. I had like that one outfit they gave you at the end of Stormblood that goes into Shadowbringers equipped. I had a skirt equipped. I had the Scion thigh highs equipped. And then I had the Seeing Horde axe equipped. Just in case I would have gotten in, um, I made sure to equip the Seeing Horde axe because it looks badass as fuck, and that would get like plus points to Asmongold because he's a go big dick kind of guy. He's like he needs a big hulking like weapon and all that. You know.
You should have done. Should have dressed as a WoW character.
uh,
Big
surprisingly
shoulders, big
enough,
axe.
all cat boys won the top 3 spots. All, like there were nothing but cat boys, and Rich was like, "Asmongold, you've changed. You've changed." Normally you would have been like, you'd have looked at a cat boy and been like, ugh. But now they're winning the Transmog contest. What is wrong with you, Asmongold? You've just changed. This game has changed you. And while he's telling him, Lalafels are the best, man. Because Rich is playing a Lalafell.
Good influences then. Huzzah. Okay.
But that was
Ooh.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
So that's what I did in 14. I streamed a bit of Tales of Symphonia today, actually. And, yeah, fuck that game. I hate that game. I hate it so much. I'm like, hold on, let me beat this game. Let me get the Vesperia, please. That game desperately needs a remake. Desperately. It has not aged very well.
Fair enough. I believe that, to be honest. So,
I'd like to go back in the day, all right, and like listen in on like these localization like ideas when it comes to like voicing certain scenes and not voicing certain scenes. Because I'm like sitting there playing the game, I'm like, why is this scene not voiced?
well, there's a couple of things to take into account. There's cost of voice acting, there's space on disk,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
a
see,
willingness to do it.
I wouldn't have this problem if there were scenes that were voiced that didn't need to be voiced.
I'm sorry?
There are scenes in this game that are voiced that have no like there's no real like need or reason to be voiced.
Mm.
So like there's like a quick scene that like doesn't mean anything that can be voiced, and then there's like this long scene that's like super story heavy that is just not voiced. And I'm just
Isn't
like,
this a thing that happens in most RPGs, though? Of the
not
time.
lately. Of the
Of course,
time,
not
maybe.
lately.
Maybe of the time, but like again, that's why I said I'd like to sit in on these fucking localization ideas when people were doing, because like I understand back in the day they didn't want to voice skits or whatever, but they did it in the Japanese version of the games, like the skits were voiced and all that. I understand not doing that half the time, because again, back in the day, like people weren't streaming this game, so watching a skit in in like Symphonia now while you're streaming it, not very entertaining at all, unless you're like going full ham and like voicing it yourself, which I don't like doing because I can't read and talk at the same time, obviously. But no, I want to get out of Symphonia as fast as I can. I think I'm over halfway done, I think, with the game. I just beat a boss, and it wasn't that bad. So I guess I'm a little bit over leveled for it. So that's good. Did I play any other games? I don't think I did. Nothing important. Nothing comes. Oh wait, I downloaded War of the Visions, the mobile game War of the Visions. I think it's Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Mhm.
I'm not going to talk about that because I'm like literally clicking on it, hitting play mission, and letting it play by itself. So I'm not even paying attention to the story because it's a mobile game. But yeah, that's all I did this week as well.
Hey.
But we do have a question from Little, but it goes into the topic of what we want to talk about this week, which is mobile gaming and what's the difference between mobile gaming and gaming mobilely, like gaming on the go, I guess. But his question was, how do we feel about hardware continuing to come out during the part shortage and price inflations, like the Stream Deck or the OLED Switch?
Oh, I really like this question. This is a really good question.
Yeah, it's pretty on point. Now OLED Switch wise, it doesn't matter because the fucking chipset that the Switch uses is like 10-year-old technology, and
Yeah, they didn't really update that, did they? So it's just the
And-
screen
and-
and shit.
and that's probably not as part shortage. I mean, OLEDs aren't.
That's not true. You're not thinking through that whole statement. I understand how
Oh?
you got to this, but you are forgetting something.
Yeah.
It's still an entire Switch. Everything that's in a Switch is still in this Switch. So all those things, all those silicon bits that, are the reason for this well, they're not the reason for the part shortage. All these silicon parts that are part of the shortage are still present in this otherwise useless upgrade.
Well, if there was an actual shortage, then we wouldn't get an OLED. We wouldn't get this
That's
OLED.
not true.
Oh, really? Why
You
is
can
that?
so there is a shortage. That's just, I don't know if this is up for debate or something, but that it's a thing that exists. Nintendo being able to get their hands on product doesn't mean that there's not a shortage. It just means that they're willing to use this very, very in demand product on making money. Really, it's the same thing as the PS5 and all of the graphics cards. Anything that has these pieces in them still are being made, but
Yeah,
there's
but
still a shortage. It's not
they're
like the
not
shortage
flying
has
off
suddenly
the.
gone away.
They're not flying off the shelf though.
They don't need to. Once they're made, it's done. The silicon has been used. It doesn't matter if they're
Yeah.
sold or not.
No, I just mean like. So the PlayStation and the Xbox were being made way before we even had the shortage. Right?
Sure.
And
Well, before we were
there was
aware
obviously
of it.
there was more of a demand, for that than there is an OLED Switch.
Oh yeah, no, this is not up for debate. This is true. Because I don't think anyone is excited to see the OLED Switch. People wanted Switch 2 or
So
Switch
there's
Pro
not going to
or
be
whatever.
there's not going to be a
Yeah.
shortage of OLED Switches because they're not going to fly off the shelf.
No,
Um,
there's not. That's the problem, isn't it?
No, now there's going to be a shortage.
Yeah, he's
of
saying that they've
Steam
wasted
Decks.
what could be
It's
used
been
elsewhere,
wasteful.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Steam, on the other hand, not a wasted product because this product is pretty banging.
Yeah, I've got the rundown of the specs now. So it's powered by AMD APU with Zen 2 architecture and RDNA 2 graphics. This means it has 4 cores and 8 threads. The RDNA 2 GPU can handle 720p gaming. The RAM is 16 gigabytes or GP. Screen is a 7-inch touchscreen with 1200 and 800 res. It has a USB-C port, stereo speakers, a 3.5mm port, dual mics, and a 40 watt-hour battery. The joysticks apparently have this like special anti-stick drift technology that they were boasting about last week or something like that.
We'll see.
Yeah, and then like there's D-pad and triggers and touchpads and shit. So they're saying you can play your game any way you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a rundown of it.
There's three different models. There's the 64
Yep.
Mhm.
gigabyte, the
Yep.
256 gigabyte, and the 512 gigabyte model.
Yep. Yep.
The 64 is just the eMMC. It's
Mhm.
just that, but the 256 and the 512 are NVMe SSDs.
I'm gonna
The
I'm
Yeah.
512
gonna
is a high speed one.
so super
Yep.
hot take. Those are all buzzwords that don't mean fuck all.
Well,
So
NVMe means fuck
That's
all.
fair
Fuck
enough.
all.
so yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a difference
Yeah.
between the standards of solid state hard drives, but the fact of the matter is, you have a handheld PC with straight up
Yes.
3 SSDs. I mean, where the wait time difference is going to be minimal at best.
People have been trying to do like because there's like been like test models and review models and stuff being handed out.
Yes,
Some folk like the OS for the Steam Deck is Steam OS, which is
correct.
Linux based, and people have been taking that off and replacing it with Windows.
Yeah,
So
Steam has
it's become literally a handheld PC.
Yeah,
Valve
Steam
says
said
this.
you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Valve legitimately said this is a PC. You
Yep.
have the opportunity, and you are absolutely allowed to remove our
Mhm.
OS and put in an OS of your choosing.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
realistically, most people, well, that's not true, because if you're going to buy this, you know what you're doing. I don't think
Mhm.
it'll be necessary for most people. I've already seen the jokes about what'll really be going on those things.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I mean, you can plug into your monitor or PC. You can install your own apps or any
yes,
app, including the game stores, which I was interested about. I was like, oh, really? You can install Epic Games Store on your Steam Deck. Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
it's this weird thing where the branding is there because Valve made it. But I've been very particular of saying this is just a PC in your pocket. This is
It is.
like, yeah, like
It
I
is a
like
pocket PC.
Yeah.
it's a Steam Deck until you take the Steam OS off, and then it's a PC and you have access to your entire library.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting. Now
I mean,
there
you have
was a
access to your
thing that I
entire
was like
library in
moving
general,
and
but
ahhing about because like it's battery based, but there is going to be a dock for it, very much like the Switch, but it isn't bundled with it. You have to buy it separately,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
already expensive.
Well, to
It
be
is a
fair to
lot for
them,
what it is.
I
Mm.
don't like taking the company's side, but
Hmm.
unlike with the Switch, as far as we know, any USB-C hub will work. They will have one special for, that's made of proprietary stuff, but they have
Hmm.
already said any USB-C hub will get you to connect this to whatever screen you want to put it on.
Hmm.
Yep.
So that was
I
Yeah.
interesting.
mean, it's already
Yeah. Yeah.
coming. It's already coming with your USB-C cable to Steam Deck. It comes with display ports. It comes with
Mm.
HDMI ports. It comes with
Hmm.
an Ethernet port. It comes with 3 USB ports,
Hmm.
and it's only $50 extra than the fucking OLED Switch.
Yeah, the
Ah,
only thing
that
the
is a point,
Switch
isn't it?
yeah, the only thing the
Ah.
Switch has over it, the only thing the Switch has over it right now
These Switch games.
is Nintendo games. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's their only advantage, and that'll work for a lot of people, but
Until you start
So I was
emulating fucking
curious.
Switch like Switch games.
yeah, that's
I
one of the
was.
things, isn't it?
You get Nintendo emulator and then get immediately slapped. But
Yeah.
no, see, I was curious. Game wise, what can you play from your Steam library?
Everything.
Is there any limitations? You can play
No.
anything, even the
Everything.
latest
Everything
games.
is even. Yep.
And so long as they let
Ah,
you tinker with their settings and knock it down to what's playable, yeah.
interesting.
It's literally just a PC.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like I mentioned this in the breakdown last week, that this is genuinely something that's super neat, and I kind of wish came out like 3 or 4 years ago. Because instead of
Mm.
having a Switch, I would have my Final Fantasy 14 machine that I take around with me as I'm going to class, and I
Yeah.
do my
That's the point.
dailies.
You can, yeah. As long as you have your, you can
I
just
play
walk.
Monstrum Nox. Yeah, it'd be grand. Like genuinely,
Yeah.
this is something that when I first heard, I was like, "This is another stupid idea by Valve. This is them having fuck you money and just trying and throwing something out there like they did with the Steam Machine, which was not only dead on arrival but like dead 2 weeks before it shipped."
Well, here's the
Um,
problem with the Steam Machine, though. The Steam Machine wasn't
Mm.
developed by Valve. They
True,
outsourced it,
true,
and that's why it was shit.
less true. Let's not pretend Valve didn't have anything to do with actually creating that.
I mean, let's be real here. They just threw money at a company and said, "Make a buck so that we can play our Steam games."
And this is true. This is what Valve does a lot of the time. A lot of people ask the question, where does all that money that they've been sitting on go? To things like this. We know that they're very interested in like neural technology. This was something else. I think especially after the success of the Switch, they really saw an opportunity for the mobile market to exist in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
But that might be getting ahead of things. But essentially, that's what I see this. That's what I saw this as before. I was like, this feels like them willing to waste a lot of money to check something. But when I stop and think about it, having that many games on the go in an environment now, which is years out from the last time that mobile was given a go by people, it might work this time. And
Mm.
if there is a company to have like really try it, it's Steam, because if you have a PC, odds are like at least 50% of your library is on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. I am honestly considering it, but there is already a long waiting list. I think they've also delayed it.
Yeah, I don't
Release.
know about the delay. I do know that they're not letting people.
I saw it the other day.
They
There
weren't
was a
letting people.
delay. Let me check.
All right, they weren't letting people pre-order at the time of announcement. So in order to cull the amount of um, scalpers, they are opening it on a very particular day and only letting one
So it
person buy.
says, yeah, the pre-order reservations have reportedly been delayed into 2022 after
Oh,
Valve
interesting.
experienced an overwhelming amount of demand for its upcoming handheld console.
A lot of the time, I think it's ridiculous that companies aren't prepared for the kind of demand they get. I think this is fair, though. I can see
Yeah.
Mhm.
people going like, "I'm not sure this is going to sell that well."
Yeah, I thought so. So Q3 2022.
Q3.
Yeah, it
That's a
says
hefty
it's just
delay.
that's the ship dates. That's the
Oh,
ship
okay,
dates.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Originally, it was December of this year.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
This also brings an interesting point. You say mobile games as an interchangeable term. I've always gone with this sort of thing as handheld. It's been a very specific image in my head. Handheld has always been Game Boy. Handheld has always been like Game Gear or Sega. That kind of thing. Wonder Swan, etc.
I
Like
think you're
this is
right.
handheld gaming, and mobile has very specifically been in my head at least the actual like smartphone gaming.
No, I think between the two of us, I'm the one who has the weird definition. I think you
Okay.
are actually more in the right to how most people consider it. I
Okay,
consider it
yeah,
all mobile gaming, but
I don't want to confuse things, that's all. So,
this is fair. This is fair. So allow me to
yeah.
adjust. Yes, this would be handheld, and I think handheld,
mm,
by comparison, has had a much more fruitful experience in the West than mobile.
I mean, it's the reason why the
Just
Switch is so
because,
popular.
well, we don't even need to go to the Switch. Like Nintendo has been a powerhouse in this regard for some time. The
oh yeah,
Nintendo, the,
oh yeah.
Nin- the Nintendo Game Boy, the Color, the
hmm
SP, the DS, 3DS,
hmm
and Switch have all been bestsellers. All of them. Not a single one of them has failed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Like Sega tried it with the Game Gear, and
they
even it
tried.
even had, yeah. I mean, the system itself was fine. It was just the battery and the weight that killed it.
Yeah, it wasn't
Essentially, the
real.
battery life
You
was
needed like
awful.
8 batteries.
We
Yeah,
weren't there
but
yet.
it was fully color. It was pretty
Yeah.
impressive for the time. But
Oh,
unfortunately,
actually,
because of the battery life.
Yes.
you think that's funny though?
hmm
Um, Gigaboots.
hmm
One of their earlier videos that they did like back before they like did podcasts and all that was they went to test to see what has the better battery life, the Game Gear
Okay.
or the 3DS.
Yeah.
All right. Guess
Okay.
which one?
Game Gear 1,
Now
did
I'm
it?
gonna. Was it Game Gear?
1. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Oh
Game Gear
gosh.
Game Gear won by hours.
Gasp. Hey,
Hmm.
that changes things. Poor Sega. They were onto
I'm surprised.
something.
Yeah.
Aww.
I don't think I ever played my 3DS unplugged. So that's just never something I considered. I imagine the battery life on the 3DS was still pretty all right, though, unless you had the 3DS enabled, which I'm sure that just
Oh
sucked
no,
up a bunch of extra processing
what they
power.
tested was they had they tested the 3DS with 3D enabled the entire way through, and
Okay.
whatever the highest settings you could do on the Game Gear.
Yeah, I always switched that off. I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
I couldn't play.
A, it was
3DS was.
impossible to look at, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And B, yeah,
I
that's
know.
a massive, massive power hog. I kind of
Yeah.
wonder. I say guarantee. Now I'm not so sure. I'm inclined to believe that if they had turned that off, the 3DS would have won. Actually,
I had to go back and watch the video,
Probably.
but I think they had the 3D turned on. I'm not 100% sure.
Mm. I mean,
But
also Game Gear's
I
from
knew
the
the Game Gear
90s,
won.
so
yeah, it's
yeah.
ancient. I'm like that to hear that
Yeah.
it beats out the 3DS even with the 3D on. It's hugely surprising.
Yeah, like I remember as well. My friend who had one, he had a massive, extra battery pack he could buy for it, and it was chunky as fuck. This big battery pack you could stick on the back.
Now, I look at
Yeah.
the pictures of this of this Steam Deck. All right,
Okay. Yeah.
and I immediately like it. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, man. It looks like a Wii U controller.
Does it?
Yes, it does. It
You're gonna
looks
paint it
exactly,
white. You're
almost
gonna
exactly
Photoshop
like
it
a Wii
white.
U controller.
So, as someone who had a Wii U and enjoyed it, what is the issue with this? Because I think when a lot of people bought
No,
the
it
Wii
just
U,
reminds me of how bad the Wii U was.
well, yeah, like when
Oh.
people bought the Wii U, they did think that it was just like in addition to the Wii. They just thought that was you had this on the go, which ended up not being the case
No.
because of poor marketing. So yeah, I think it's actually a pretty strong design.
Play it on the go in your house.
True, you could play it in your house. On the go in your
You
house.
didn't have to be at your Wii U. You could just
It's true.
take your controller with you to somewhere else in the house. But
Yeah, and that's how they sold it. And that's what messed them up. Was they saw that they could just undock it, well, not undock it. They could just pick it up and television's watching the news or something, and there's little Joey playing Mario.
yeah, if I had the money, I would have already pre-ordered this thing. Because as a guy that has way too many Steam games, all right, there have been times where I have been sitting here at my computer. I'm like, man, I'd play the game if I could just go to my bed, which is like right here, and just play on my bed, which I could do if I had a Steam Deck.
No,
The first thing I saw on Final Fantasy XIV Twitter was, "Yes, I can craft from my bed."
Oh my goodness. It is so I
Yeah.
can't actually give them too much shit because my first thought was also 14 related. It's like I could do my dailies during the day.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have grabbed the first wave though. I am very interested to hear what people say after the first 3 or 4
Yeah.
months of owning it. But I'm not that bleeding edge, I don't think.
I'm interested, but I'm gonna wait for user reviews first. That's my safety net.
The biggest problem is, all right, you have to be connected to the internet, obviously, for the games that need to be connected to the internet.
Yes,
sure,
of course.
Or to just download when you're not at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously, if you're just playing your single player games, you download them before you leave the house, and then you just play them. When you leave the house.
You have to be able to connect. You can play offline on Steam because there's an option for that, but it also obviously it depends on the game. Yes.
Yeah.
Suddenly you won't be playing 14 offline.
Oh no.
God, could you imagine?
Actually,
I could imagine
that
game's a single player fucking JRPG.
Yeah, that game has the capacity to be single player if it wanted to.
Yeah.
But as per like Little's question here, I find it weird that that I find it odd that we're getting the Steam Deck within the next year, and that Steam has been working on this, even with the shortages that we have, because this is the technology that we're short on.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, this thing has probably been in works for the last 10 years at least. But
I'd say the last 5.
for
I would say at
technology,
least when the Switch, but at least either right before or right after the Switch came out.
enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get. Huh. I don't
Because
know, man. I don't see technology being done in 5 years.
back in
though.
2011, nobody was thinking about this.
Well, that was my point earlier. Is Valve probably was. Valve was doing all this weird forward-thinking stuff. They just take forever to get it out.
Nah, because 2011 was still during the day where Valve was actually making video games.
Let's not get carried away. What did they make in 2012?
Portal 2 came out within that time, didn't it?
I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
but that was a team they brought in. It wasn't they became Valve employees, but they
Portal
had
2
made a
came out in
game
2011.
previously.
God, Portal 2
Was
came
it?
out later than
Portal
I thought.
2 was 2011.
I thought it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I thought it was earlier than that.
Okay.
But Lick is still right on that fact as well.
Yeah.
Like Valve has not been in the industry for like making games for a while now. They've made a gross amount of money, and they have now bought themselves the right to think like Elon Musk. They don't have to be realistic. Now it's like, what do we want to do? Maybe it's not possible now, but we can amass our capital and we can grab the right talent and we can make it happen when we get there. So I imagine that this has been, at least in the concept stage, for a very long time.
Maybe.
Now, as for production, which is the point you were actually making, I think, yeah, that is weird because I imagine production probably didn't begin until they understood that this was not a good time for it and that there would
Yeah.
be shortages upon release. But I guess the idea is not to delay and just what do they do? Just not put it out?
I don't know. I only say that it's we I don't think this was at least like the idea of this could have came out in like 2011, but the actual I don't think the trigger was pulled on this until closer, because this looks too much like the Wii U controller or a Switch in general.
Yeah, I suppose it's not. There's just so many ways you can reinvent the wheel, though. I mean, they're gonna go with a design that's comfortable to hold. They want. I mean, it's going to be playing recent games, so they want a big screen. You know, and this touch screen as well. They want to. You know what I mean? I mean, if they make it any bigger, they'll have a fucking tablet, wouldn't they? So... yeah. So yeah.
I don't know. I just find it weird, like, because obviously they got way more fucking people interested in this than they thought that they were gonna get. And so
I think they timed it very well, because like if the new Switch was better, there probably wouldn't be as much hype, and I won't say as much. There would be still hype, but the Switches really did themselves in.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo, no.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo was like, "Oh, here's our new OLED Switch." Valve's like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, like
here's your actual Switch Pro.
Yeah, this is actually something I also said in the breakdown. Was like, yeah, clearly they saw Nintendo's what Nintendo had out and went like, no, that's not an upgrade. This is an upgrade.
It's an upgrade. Yeah. You're making a Switch Pro?
Like marketing team.
I'm making a Switch Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, the marketing team is like, when? And then like Valve bosses, hold. But when shall we release the marketing? Hold, switch our lead now.
Fire all the hype.
Fire
Yeah.
everything.
You actually raise a fantastic point because I was thinking like this is something that Valve could have said during the summer programming, or the E3 time frame.
Yeah.
A, it would have been a return to everyone saying, "Holy shit, Valve is back," and B, it would have been like, "Oh well, I guess we can start doing pre-orders now." So it does kind of feel like someone knew that Nintendo was doing something. They were like, "No, wait, hold on,
Well,
hold on."
everybody knew Nintendo was doing something.
Yeah,
There have been rumors the past 4 years.
it strikes me that Valve probably knew it wasn't actually the Switch Pro.
I
Because
mean,
if they genuinely thought it was the Switch Pro, they would have tried to get in ahead of
Yeah.
the launch, not behind it.
honestly, no, I don't. I see. I slightly don't agree with that because I think they may have waited to see what the Switch Pro was going to be, or I mean, because Nintendo is still most likely going to make a Switch Pro. The OLED Switch is just Nintendo
Oh yeah,
doing. Oh,
no.
hey,
The
we're doing a
OLED
shitty
Switch is a waste of
upgrade.
time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
I think
That's the holding.
Yeah.
I think the people who are at Valve were like, we'll just wait to see what Nintendo says. We're still gonna come out with our stuff because even though I don't think that they thought that they were gonna get as many like pre-orders as they did, they probably still would have gotten a lot of their money back from this because more people definitely use the Steam account than people use the Switches.
Yes, but would all of those people be willing to buy a Steam Deck? Also, how much of an overlap is there? And would those people who also have that giant Steam library be willing to buy a Steam Deck over a Switch Pro?
Now my question is how many people will buy the top tier one? Because it's like $600, isn't it? And what is
Yeah.
truly
It's
the
600
difference?
plus.
Yeah.
The difference is the storage space.
Yeah, but will it really matter
No.
No.
if you already have a PC for Steam?
Yeah, exactly. No.
It only matters to people that like to download all of their games and then cycle through the games that they've downloaded or whatever and be like, okay, I feel like playing this today. That's all it matters for people.
I wasn't even thinking of that. I just kind of felt like that was the big flex collector's edition type of thing. Because
Also,
quite frankly, the best bang for your buck, get the
it's
lowest.
the second one.
No,
second
get the
one.
lowest value one and get a higher SD card.
Yeah. You agree?
Mm,
You are agreeing. You are.
no, I don't
a
agree with
64
that.
gig. Really? I agree.
I don't. No, I don't agree with that because you get a higher end SD card, so you're paying for a less type of storage space. You get the 256 one, all right, which is the faster storage space, and you don't have to worry about any of your games being bigger than what your base storage is. Because there are games on Steam that are way more than 64 gigabytes.
Then don't put those games on your base.
I'm talking about for faster loading, man. People care about load times in these days. That's why the new systems are touted as much as they can because you can click a button on the fucking PS5 and you instantly be in your game. All right?
That's fair enough.
The base 64 is not a high. It's not even an SSD.
Hear me out though, Aqua. The games that matters for, you will not be playing on the Steam Deck.
That's a lie because I'd want to play Final Fantasy 15. That's way more than 64 gigabytes.
Yeah, okay, so fair, but like the games where the loading time matters are
Final Fantasy
competitive.
15 matters because have you played that on the PS4, right?
Yeah.
That loaded like shit.
You finished?
Well, I'll give you this. There's no way I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on
Or that,
no,
yeah.
No. Anyways, I think what a lot of people are overvaluing is like what you'll actually be using this for. Like a lot of people are expecting that you'll get the same out of this as you're getting out of a PC, which is I get the hype, that's not what's happening here. Remember, everything's going to be downscaled to 720, and you're going
Yeah.
to be using this to play on the go. Odds are, if you're in your house and you have a Steam Deck, you also have a really nice computer that you'd probably be better off playing on.
Yeah, but then I get those times where I don't want to be at my computer when I'm playing my games.
Oh,
so
here's a
I wanna go
question
right
I'm
out of my
curious
bed.
about. Here's a question I'm curious about. So, can you be logged into Steam on the handheld version and your PC? Because sometimes people are like, I'm going to multitask now. I'm going to craft on this game, and then I'm going to play this game. But can you do that?
You
I
wouldn't.
suspect
You probably won't be able to do that.
so this is
Hmm.
my point to disagree. I suspect they have thought about this. I suspect in the next couple months we'll be seeing an update to Steam that specifically allows that if it recognizes you're on a Steam Deck. But at the moment, no, I don't think you can do that natively.
Yeah. I thought so. So
I
I'm curious about this. I would
yeah,
like this to happen.
I
To be
suspect this
user
is something
friendly.
that they have thought about. Yes,
Yes.
because that seems like a strikingly large. Well, I guess maybe it's not so strikingly a large oversight because they don't suspect you. I imagine they don't suspect people to use the Steam Deck over a PC when you're in the same room as a PC. But I have to
Yeah,
imagine that someone
multitasking.
else. Yeah, I have to imagine someone that has had this thought of what if they are though. What if this is something that they want and it's technically the same person? It's not a different account. We
I
should
can
probably
just
find a way around it.
I can just imagine people when Windows 11 comes out and they had the Steam Deck that they remove the Steam Deck software and they put on Windows 11 and then they use the integrated Android emulator or Android store on their
Hmm.
Steam Deck so they have a better mobile gaming experience.
So doesn't Windows 11? I mean, I'm not sure if this is going to be a problem. This is a question, but Windows 11 has a minimum spec thing you have to adhere to, even when upgrading from Windows 10, because some people who got the older versions are kind of going to be screwed because they need a new PC for this.
I hate to say it, I think this is strong enough.
Yeah, I think
Really?
this is strong
Okay,
enough.
okay.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
this will
curious.
meet
That's all.
minimum spec, no problem.
All
I
right,
don't,
good.
however, see people trusting Windows 11 enough to put that on their Steam Deck. I imagine we'll see
Hmm.
Windows 10 on it for a while still, until like people can figure out that Windows 11 is worth dealing with. Because Windows 10 is still troublesome for a lot of people. I don't tend to have too many issues with it, but like I mean, we've all heard the horror stories, right? And people,
yeah.
this was very slow adoption. They literally had to bribe everyone into it.
Or
So
just force it. Or just force it on people.
yeah, or just force it on people, I guess. I got bribed in for the free update. The moment I heard it was free, I was like, "Yeah, no,
Ah.
fantastic." Before that goes away, I'll take some of that.
Yep.
Oh, Windows 11 is also free.
If you have
I think
Windows
that
10.
Free
yeah, I
upgrade.
think I feel like Microsoft is at the point they were like, no one's ever gonna want to buy a new
Yeah,
OS.
it's if you have Windows 10. If you
Yeah.
don't have Windows 10, then you don't get your free upgrade.
Yes.
I can't wait for the inevitable. Okay, if you have Windows 10 or 7, or who is still using XP? If you have XP, we will give you Windows 11. Fine, whatever.
I like how you skipped over 8.
Windows what now?
Mhm.
That was the one that I didn't
Exactly.
want to deal with.
No, I've dealt with Windows 8, and let me tell you, it's not good.
Yeah, 8 and Vista, I just didn't touch.
7 was good. I liked 7. I liked XP too. I really liked XP.
XP, I was on XP forever.
Oh, I skipped Vista. I went from XP to 7.
Same.
Mhm.
Ugh. No, like I said, if I had the expendable income, I would have probably dropped the money on this, but because I'm interested, because again, I have a huge backlog of video games, and there are times where I would like to sit in bed and play these video games,
Mhm.
like Neo 2. Maybe so I don't have to like sit and rage at my computer and just rage in bed.
I don't know how you
Uh,
manage to get anything like that done in bed. very few things get done in my bed. The obvious, and then if I'm not doing the obvious, I'm asleep in like 15 minutes.
Wait, is sleeping not the obvious?
Like I said, yeah, of course. So the point is, how do you manage to stay like awake? Like I've tried gaming from my bed. It doesn't
Oh,
go well
I
for
don't
me. I
game from
fall
my bed because
asleep.
I can't. I can't game from my bed. That's my problem. So I don't game from bed. I turn my monitor around and watch stuff from bed.
Oh
But
man, yeah, I get like 15 minutes into whatever I want to watch, and then I'm just snoring.
oh no, if it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to bed like as soon as I turn whatever on. But if it's like 2,
Wait,
then
hold on. 5 o'clock. Can we not approach that as if that's not a normal time? What?
I went
What?
to bed at 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh my goodness. If it's 3 o'clock and I'm not asleep yet, I'm in trouble.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I I kind of want the Steam Deck, but I'm not willing to dish out 400 plus bucks for it. I'm not like, and I just got rid of my handheld device. And honestly, the half of the reason why I wouldn't play this half of the time is because I don't like handheld gaming half the time. So it's half the reason I didn't even play my Switch. Because I could have easily have played like all my Switch games from bed, but I again don't like Switch games or most of them.
I wasn't big into handheld until the Switch, because the Switch was finally a size that I could, like, my boomer ass eyes could, like, see.
I really liked handheld games for ages. Like I played all the Game Boys. My family had them. The DS, that was fun. Played a lot on that. Upgraded to the 3DS and so on and so forth. Yeah.
I had a
I
3DS. It
played.
Like
was
my
just
family
my
did a lot
Monster
of
Hunter
car
machine.
traveling, so it was perfect. Although
Yeah, that
the
makes
motion
sense.
sickness was a thing.
I got the 3DS for one game,
Uh huh.
just like how I got the Switch for one game.
What game was that?
Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Never mind.
Really?
The whole reason I got the 3DS.
God, that game was. I don't like that game. I don't know
I don't
why
like the
people
game
do
either.
like that game.
I rage at that game. I almost threw my 3DS because of that game, because of that one fight against Ansem. Hated that game.
Now, one thing one reason I wanted to differentiate clearly handheld versus mobile, because I feel like those two markets do not really compete, because the games on each thing usually, or at least they used to be up until recently probably, is that the games are too different to compete. And mobile games, especially the gacha genre, are very popular and will not be hindered by handhelds.
Yeah, I feel like that
I'll actually
wasn't.
say that.
I feel like that wasn't always the case, though. Once upon a time, when mobile was still young and innocent, real games were coming out. Really bad games, but they were real, and attempts were being made. And then, and then the dark times came, and I'm going to assume it was probably Candy Crush, honestly, that did it.
Oh
And
yeah,
they
yeah.
understood that monetization, especially like on the scale of a mobile title, was really, really easy to get. If you charge very small amounts onto a bill that they're already paying a good amount for, well, you could probably get away with that. And then that idea just grew and grew and grew, and then we got gotcha, and then now mobile games are almost entirely gotcha and not actual standalone like pieces of completed material.
Yeah, there are like full on games from yonder year, like old ports and stuff like that you can
Hmm.
get on the Apple Store and so on. They're not necessarily always good ports,
Yeah,
shall
exactly.
we say.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I feel like even the size of a mobile, like a smartphone, is going to also differentiate the markets, separate the market share instead, because like you're not going to walk into an office with a Steam Deck or a Switch, really, really, but like it's easier to carry around a mobile phone.
Yes. Because even the largest mobile phones are still mostly fit in your pocket, fit in your purse.
I walk into work with the Steam Deck.
I knew you were going to say it.
I know you do. This is why I said usually.
I think we are all exempt from this.
I walked into work with a TV, a PS3, and a fucking and controllers.
Fucking
Oh my
hell,
god,
Aqua.
you are that guy in Denny's at 5 a.m. with a television.
Well, it was one of the nights I had to stay over the night, so I brought my mom. It was the only
You
reason
brought your
I ever-
living room with you.
No, I play in my room.
Sorry, he brought his
your bedroom.
I brought a monitor, my PS3, and Trails of Cold Steel 2.
Did you bring an airbed and get super comfy while you were at it?
I mean, I had to stay up all night, man, and watch people like do the floors. What else was I gonna do?
Watching them from your PS3.
Yeah, the occasional look over to the CCTV.
Yeah, look over there. All right, they're not stealing anything.
See you all.
All right,
see you
Rufus,
all
I'm gonna
in
get
the,
your ass.
See you eyeing that iced coffee, mate. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Yeah, you turn that corner. Anyway, like I was saying, Crow, prepare to die again.
Like over the
You
loudspeaker
owe
as well.
me 50 mil. Oh, that idea of just being the guy buffing out the floors and just hearing gaming adjacent nonsense going on in the PA system. What the hell is a mirror?
What the hell's a mirror? Nah.
Yeah, so
I feel like honestly, I was gonna make this distinction. I feel like mobile gamers are actually more hardcore than handheld gamers.
Oh, elaborate.
Because when you associate mobile game, it's usually gotchas, and people go hardcore into their gotchas, man. Like there are a lot of hardcore gotcha players.
is this I see, so is this time spent playing in one day? Because the fault with the mobile is that it's right in your fucking hand all the time.
Yeah.
You might as well glue like a smartphone to people's hands these days, because there is very a rare moment that I've seen everywhere that people have their mobile somewhere upon them, or actually have it in their hand as they walk. But is that the kind of idea you're going for?
In relations
That
to games, though, does that even work? Because most mobile games are in some way time
yeah,
constrained.
well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like
Yes.
most gotcha players are like pretty on the dot with their gaming needs when it comes to mobile
And
gaming.
they play more than one at the
Yeah,
same
and they play
time.
more than one. Yeah, so they're like, all
They
right, gotta
time
log into
it.
War of the Visions, gotta log into Genshin Impact,
I log in now,
gotta log
and
into
then log
Arknights.
into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a schedule.
Right.
Well,
While
even
handheld gamers
then-
are just like, okay, I'm going out of the house. Let me take my 3DS with me.
Well, even then, you have the biggest problem is we're trying to subdivide people that play games, because
Yeah.
people that play mobile titles often don't just play mobile titles. People that play handheld almost certainly do not just play handheld. The Switch
Yeah.
makes that kind of difficult, because I think you could actually get away with saying that now.
Yeah.
Moreover, I think pound for pound, what a lot of people consider the hardcore gaming population don't stand a chance against the mobile population. There's more of them. The casual gamers, oh, there's so many. There's so many. And it's mostly right down to what Leek said. Everyone has a phone. If
Yep.
they pick up one game, they are now a casual gamer. And if that gets them hooked, they are now playing like 16 gotchas and they are broke and living in the sewer. Mugging pizza delivery guys for. Wait, no. I'm sorry. I've gotten on to TMNT.
I mean, or they're Tectone and they're like, going bankrupt because they spend like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, or they're streamers and they're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of other people's money.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of listening to M-Tash and Tectone pretend like they're actually hurting their bank account. Like them doing this doesn't gain them more money. I like them. Well, I like Tectone anyway. M-Tash is a bit of. Anyways, I like Tectone anyway. But yeah, no, that's streamers are always a bad example by which to judge the health of anything, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the mobile market is actually, I think you're right. I think it's probably is more hardcore just because of the amount of people playing in it. I don't think the approach to the game, however, makes that true. I think the most hardcore people will always be like the small portion of the population that like legitimately wants to take any game super seriously. The min maxers, the
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean, some of like I follow a good bit of like actual like mobile game um people, and I mean if you're end gaming a gotcha game, you're min maxing. I mean, you know how people are in Fago, man.
Actually, funny you should mention that. I went through all of Figo, and I'm going through all of
You went through
Arknights
all of Fago, yeah, I know, but I'm
with
talking about like
super unoptimal stuff because if I'm gonna look at these goddamn PNGs and GIFs, they're gonna be
you're
the
gonna look
ones
at
I
the ones
want to
you
look
want,
at.
yeah. But I mean, like,
That's fair enough.
that's the reason why there's a whole bunch of like guides or whatever. You need to get this. You need to get this unit. You need to get this unit. You need to have these attachments to these units and all that stuff if you want to
Eh,
get like.
I mean that's usually done by people who are either content creators, so they literally make money by doing this, so they get to fund their habit, or by you know parrots who don't have any unique opinions of their own, and they're just too busy saying what they've heard.
Mm, I'd stay away
The
from mobile games.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't enjoy the fact that Psycho tricked me into playing Arknights, but that game can be played with whatever units you get.
Yeah, I think the same goes with War the Visions actually.
Yeah,
You could always just be like me and choose life.
I did for years. I did that. Then fucking Shell wouldn't stop showing me the pretty pictures. My dumb brain
That's
was
how I
like,
was
"Yeah,
like,
sure,
Which
whatever.
you
I'll
can
get
look
it."
up for free on the internet. You're
Which I
welcome.
can look
Sorted
up
that
for
out.
free. I don't even need to play. He literally was like, "Yeah, but you don't even need to play this game. You can just beat it once and then it'll auto farm." Yeah, sure, that's grand. Wait, then I'm not even playing the. What have I done?
What have you
that's how I was
done,
like.
you
That's how I was like. When
weak-willed person?
I
I was watching
am.
DGen. I was watching
And
some
I will
DGen
watch
play.
from afar, eating my popcorn.
So it was like I was watching DGen play War the Visions, and I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll download it or whatever. And I have no idea what I'm even doing this game, but like they give you a fucking level 99 fucking character right off the bat.
What?
Yeah,
Ew.
it's very new player friendly. That game is. So I've
Also,
just
what's
been
the
like,
point of playing the game if you're not going to listen to the story? I mean, I'm even I read through the story of Arknights.
dude, I just wanna free to play and get waifus.
Isn't that just looking up pictures on the internet though?
Yeah,
Couldn't you do that?
dollar, isn't it?
Hey, at
Isn't
least
it, dollar? You
like
have
I
no grounds to
like I
ridicule Aqua.
just said, at least I'm reading the story. If you skip the
I
story, then there genuinely is no reason to play.
I'm not even
By
out
the
of
way,
chapter 1. I'm not even out
to
of chapter
those
1. It's your
to those who are also
typical
playing Arknights, I am literally about to have my heart broken with Frost Nova. Pray for me.
I like at the moment this game is like first chapter Final Fantasy Tactics. Right? Where it's your typical, oh, I'm a princess, I'm a knight in this world where we do tactics turn-based style gameplay. All right? That's literally what the story is.
Careful, you're about to get a lot of very angry Final Fantasy fans who love the tactics games.
I love the my favorite Final Fantasy games were the Lions.
Oh, mine is very good, yeah. Story.
Yeah, so come at me, bro.
Well, then why are you talking down about this? It sounds like this is right
No, I
up your
said
alley.
it's chapter 1 of like Final Fantasy Tactics, as in the most boring part of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Fair enough.
As in,
You're meeting
I'm
all
just
these new people.
I'm a
Very boring.
princess. I'm a princess in this world. There's two factions or whatever. They're fighting each other. You're running into bandits and all that crap. There's nothing going on at the moment I am at in this game.
All good.
Like,
Okay,
Jesus,
so
very
let's bring
well.
it back to the point we're trying to make in this particular podcast this day. I think we've gone off the rails.
True.
Yeah. So, so let's go back to Vegeta's question. I think that's the easiest thing to do at this point.
I feel, like I said, I feel weird, like, because he said, how do we feel about the hardware continuing to come out? I feel more weird that we're getting the Steam Deck than I do that we're getting the OLED Switch, because again, it's just rehashing the fucking Switch technology with a bigger screen. But I don't know. I'm not weirded about like the PS4 or the Xbox, because those were like extremely in development before we even had these shortages. But I feel like Valve could have probably waited a year before announcing this.
That's interesting. I have quite literally the exact opposite take. I don't fault a company for trying something new and for trying to make money. I fault a company that has nothing new to bring to the table for doing something virtually indistinct from the initial release and wasting material. At least with the Steam Deck, it's a legitimate new idea that is exciting and is probably gonna, at least sell out. The OLED Switch is pretty fucking mundane. It's not very impressive.
I agree with that. My point was that I think maybe Valve might have pulled the trigger too early on this one.
Do you think?
Yeah, because obviously they had to push their ship window back almost a full year. So they obviously weren't prepared.
Couldn't that just be down to popularity? They didn't expect it to do so well.
I mean, that's one thing, but with Steam being probably the most popular platform on PC, period, you would think that they might have a better inkling of like how many people were going to order it. And they could have just waited. They could have waited like another half a year to stock up on more.
The way I see it,
announce it.
The way I see it is that there is a risk in waiting further, because there is already a shortage they have to deal with, and actually acquiring enough resources to make these units. So if they wait longer, that could mean less people be interested. Maybe there's another competitor they haven't considered that would hit their pre-order sales. So I think the timing is pretty good for what they could do at this moment in this pandemic time, shall we say? Because the Switch really dropped the boil, and it's really fucking lucky for Steam and Valve.
I'll actually say this. I could probably bet that Valve didn't actually plan on announcing this.
Oh, that's a bold. That's a bold. What makes you say this?
I think it's because Nintendo dropped the ball with the OLED Switch.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a happy bonus.
I don't know. Gabe Newell's a pretty sneaky motherfucker.
This is true. He absolutely is. But I think this is a case of we need to start making our money back if we're going to fund this new venture. We want to see if it's even profitable, and we have to see if it's worth buying more of this exceedingly rarer and rarer thing that's going to cost exceedingly more and more. I think after thinking about it, I think Link kind of hit it on the head.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Nintendo did nothing but shoot themselves in the foot. I think they accidentally helped out Steam. I don't think Valve actually like we joke about it. I don't think Valve was actually out to ruin Nintendo. Obviously, they're
Oh
catering to
no,
two different
probably not.
crowds.
But it's just funny.
It is hilarious.
It's like OLED Switch, Steam Deck. Well, no, it's like honestly, I haven't seen the meme yet or whatever, but I I want to see the Yu-Gi-Oh meme of like where it's Switch lays down the OLED Switch and then Yugi fucking lays down as Gabe Newell. You've activated my trap
Yes.
card.
Yeah. Oh no.
I want to see it. No, I mean that's fair. I think more of like I don't know because again, like you said, they could have announced this earlier in the summer,
Sure.
like during the whole Switch during the whole Steam thing.
Mhm.
That's why I'm like slightly thinking of maybe they didn't plan on like announcing this until maybe closer to fall. But then like the Switch was like, oh, we're doing the OLED, or we're doing the OLED Switch. You know, this is a good product, right? And then Gabe Newell's like, oh my god, they're idiots.
If that were the case, I think they would have just waited till fall because I don't think there's anything coming out that was really going to stop everyone from having this reaction that we're having to it between now and then. As for not coming out during the summer, I genuinely don't know. Might be that they didn't want to compete with the hype going on from actual games. Could be they
I
wanted
mean,
to just have their own moment, and then they saw the opportunity to have their moment at someone else's
Mm.
expense.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it because people are concentrating on console and full PCs. So,
Hmm.
and it could seem underwhelming if they didn't word it correctly or present it correctly, and that would shoot them in the foot.
Yeah, Lord knows that some presentations have gone absolutely horrendous for companies in the past.
yeah.
And people have had their hands on this for months. They've been very hush hush about it. So, or not months. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. For weeks. There
Yeah.
we go. There we go. There's the correct. That's correct
Either
word.
way, the I keep saying Stream Deck because there's
Oh my
obviously a
God.
Stream Deck.
Yeah, that's my only big problem with it. Because even when I fucking like look at try to search for it in Google or whatever, right? It automatically like corrects it to Stream Deck and like fuck off.
I had to do 3 takes to get that right in the breakdown.
Oh.
The Steam Deck. Either way, the Steam Deck is it's going to be a better Switch than the Switch.
Yeah, especially once people manage to get the emulator running on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because they'll be like, okay, well, we're just
Oh
gonna
my
emulate
goodness.
fucking Nintendo shit on here, and they'll be like, Nintendo's will be like, oh no, you can't do that, and everybody's gonna be like, well, fuck you, Nintendo, you don't come out with good hardware.
And then they get sued.
And then they get see. I wonder if they will have something in the hardware to prevent that. But technically, you can do it on PC, and this is just a mobile
Yeah,
version of that. So
yeah.
who knows?
No, Nintendo's like, looking at, can we sue them? This looks like the Switch. Can we sue them? No,
Disney
we
slips in a
can't.
note. Yes, do it.
Oh God, please no.
Yeah, the two most sue happy companies in pop culture.
Anyway, since we're all broke, we're not getting a stream deck.
This
Yeah,
is
well,
the
yeah,
truth.
since we're all
This
broke,
is the
we're
ultimate
not
truth.
we're not getting a stream deck as well. I've thought about getting a stream deck. How much are but they're fucking expensive as well.
I should imagine so.
I mean, I could pay like the $10, a month or whatever to use my fucking phone as one. They're 137. They're not too bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could buy that. I
Yeah,
would
but I'm
regret
not
it,
going to.
but
I mean, you had to stream.
that's $130 that could be going towards gas.
Yeah.
I have to drive into the city. Ugh.
I'm not getting a Steam Deck anytime soon. Maybe one day, maybe next tax season. Who knows?
No, totally. This podcast is about to blow up. We'll have one sent
Oh,
to
yeah.
us by Valve.
Remember, if
looking
you're
at you.
Wow, thanks, Valve.
if you're listening to
Thanks
us
in
and you
advance.
really,
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks,
if you
Gabe.
really like us, all right, if you really like us, please, like, favorite, subscribe, hit that that bell notification button, and link us to all of the people you want to listen to us and everything. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Rich
Absolutely
Campbell, and
shameless.
he is the most shameless plugging motherfucker, all right, I've ever seen in my life, all right, because in the middle of all craft, all right, he sat there. They were talking to the guy that does Ashes of Creation, all right, the guy that the head lead of Ashes of Creation, and the Ashes of Creation guy was like, yeah, we all want to feel secure and all that stuff, and and Rich comes in and he goes, I like feeling secure too, and I never felt more secure than when I turn on NordVPN. All right, and they just goes into like a 5-minute fucking tangent of like of
Wow.
shouting out their sponsor of NordVPN, and I'm just sitting. I was like, this motherfucker, he did that so well. It was so good. But no, really, like, favorite, subscribe, and share this podcast if you like listening to us, because we just talk about random shit. What are you guys doing this week?
Final
'Cause
Fantasy
we already know
14.
we already know.
Dollar
what
is
Dal's doing
crying.
this week. Dal's crying.
I'm not crying. I'm just so angry.
So angry. He's angry crying.
So angry. He's an
He's
angry boy.
Don't
He's
talk
looking
to
at
me.
it.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
He's looking at his East 9, and he's like, I want to play. And then he like
There
looks
was
on
time now. I had time.
Oh.
looks at his homework, and he's like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you.
43
fucking
bloody
hate you."
assignments in 7 weeks. Fuck off.
That's pretty bad. Good luck.
So leveling up your crystal character.
Yes. Like I said, I've hit the end of the main Heavensward .0 story.
Yeah.
Estinian has turned into Nidhogg. So yeah, he's Nidstinian now. Stinky elven boy.
Nidstini.
I still can't believe he never fucking washed his armor.
I mean, when you
He just
bathe
let
in
him
the
walk
blood of
around
your
drenched in
enemies,
blood. Like, what the fuck?
you have
Alright,
to be
yeah.
badass. You have to be badass. All right, bathe in the blood of your enemy.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm doing that, tackling those subsequent patch stories next. I hope to be in Storm. I should be in Stormblood before 30th. I imagine if I play a bit each day.
I mean, if you're skipping,
I'm not watching all the
cutscenes.
cutscenes. Yeah, I'm not watching all those. Unless
You should
the
be.
really good ones, like the Thornton one was fucking cool.
Yeah. What am I doing this
About
week?
you.
What am I doing this week? Oh man, I'm gonna attempt to get through as much as Tales of Symphonia as I can. I say this with a heavy heart because, God, I fucking hate playing that game. I turn it on and I'm just like, man, why am I even doing this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Tales of Arise is coming on. And this is one of the more recent Tales games I've never played. And I'm like,
Tiny
So,
Fiddle
yeah.
is playing for you.
It's okay. I've got Persea, I've got Regal,
Mhm.
I've got Sheena. Those are my favorite characters in that game. Regal's badass because he fights fucking, handcuffed. Literally. So he kicks people. That's all he does. It's just
He
funny.
just kicks.
Yeah, it's funny. He's hard to control though. He's got some weird ability, so I just I leave him for the bot to play. I usually play as either Persea or Lloyd. So that'll be all right. Maybe one day I'll just hunker down and do a 10-hour 10-hour like sit down play of that game. I guess I'll play some 14 at some point in time, leveling up the samurai so I can start the samurai relic quest and do that.
Samurai.
And samurai.
I'm just amused by your accent when you say samurai. Samurai.
Samurai. Samurai me. It need to do more JP learning streams. I need to continue on in my little my Japanese learning app. I can confidently say I think I know like 90 to 95% of the hiragana. And then I learned that then I learned that like almost everything I watch in Japanese or whatever, they barely use hiragana. I'm just like, fuck. They use katakana and kanji. And I'm just like, goddamn.
Yeah,
I don't recognize
you need to get the subs with the furigana, the little hiragana on the top of the kanji. That helps a lot.
Yeah. I need there's a second part of this app that I'll get when I finish the first part. It's Human Japanese Intermediate. So I think that's probably where
Can you tell me the title of that one more time?
Human Japanese.
Okay.
That's what the app's called.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting confused with like dog Japanese, I guess.
No, so the guy that made this app, he's an English teacher.
That's dog Japanese. Wham.
The guy that made this app, he's an English teacher that lives in Japan.
Least surprising thing I've ever heard in my life. Fair enough.
Yeah, least surprising. So he made this app. This app is pretty much a textbook, but in app form.
Oh, that's good.
But the language he uses is more of a very easy to understand type thing. It's not like he's trying to like he teaches you in a way that like you're easily understand, and not like you're sitting in a fucking class with the professor like going, and this is how you do this and this and this and this and this and this. No, it's very down to earth type of reading, so it's like easy to get through.
Yep. What works for you is the main thing.
Yeah, it works for me. So I'll get through that, and I don't know if there's any other things that I'm gonna attempt. I shouldn't, because I need to get through 4 Tales games. So I shouldn't really attempt to play any other game.
Focus.
It'll be easier when I get to Vesperia, because I like Vesperia. The combat's a bit dated in Vesperia, but at least the story and the characters are really cool in that game, and so I'll be fine with that. And then it'll slow down a bit. I'll get to Zestiria because I fucking hate that game, but the most of the time I'm streaming that game, I'm just gonna be shitting on it. Like, this game is shit. Be like,
revel in that.
Pointing out all the bad stuff in this game. And then I'll get to Berseria, and I have no problems with playing Berseria. I could play Berseria like 4 times in a row, most likely. That game's a really good game. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this week. Oh, actually, another thing I've been using my time of not playing video games and doing is that I am slowly moving my way back into anime. So it had been about.
Are you really? Are you slowly moving back into you've never watched anime for such a long time?
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, there. For the past 3 years, I had not watched much anime at all.
Okay, so first of all, I think we should point out that it's bullshit when he says he hasn't watched anime, because he still managed to watch way more than me a league.
Okay, I mean that's
let's say by Aqua's standards. Okay, this is shit fuck all. By Aqua's standards, Aqua's standards dictates hasn't watched much anime.
Before 3 years ago, I used to follow 3 or 4 series during a season. All right. I hadn't before I had watched what did I watch a while ago I binged a good bit of Bleach, but I skipped a couple of like seasons because of the filler seasons. I've watched like maybe less than 100 episodes of Fairy Tail recently, and I just finished Demon Slayer, which took me like 3 months to do. And now I'm binging Attack on Titan. So this is actually binging. I made it the second season today, so that'll be nice. But no, really, like 3 years ago, or like 2.5 years ago, I like pretty much cold turkeyed anime for a while.
Oh wow.
Yeah, scheduling problems. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing this week. And yeah, we should probably
it's just 14 and work for me.
Yeah, we should figure out what we're gonna talk about next week in like a day.
Yeah. So if you've got more than just a question, if you want something we would like to talk about too, if you've got suggestions for that, you can also drop us a line. At that point.
Please and thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week, though.
Be good.
I won't. Haha.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.